Yo, Tom Fiddzy here with my review of What If Episode 9, the final episode. Sorry it's a little bit delayed because I've had quite a busy week. I didn't actually watch it until like super late on Thursday night. It's just been a very busy week at work. Even though it was such a hype episode, I wanted to watch it when I could actually like sit down and not just be tired. So sat down, watched it, and I'll be honest, I was a little bit disappointed with it, mainly because I just built up the hype so much. It was very much an actiony episode, um, and because of that, it felt like quite a quick episode. Straight away, I'm like, Ultron seems a little bit weaker here than he was. This is the Ultron that's just conquered his universe completely. Everyone was dead apart from, well, everyone was dead because he's not alive, right? Everyone was dead apart from, like, I guess, the Watcher in the multiverse. Then he went on and conquered the multiverse. And I feel like he could have galaxy chomped on them, but no, he had to get down there. He had to get in the fight, fist to fist, and he was just firing laser beams. He could have just snapped his fingers and wished them all away and stuff. It's that classic thing, even like when Thanos had all of like the Infinity Stones, always too slow to snap his fingers. Just do it quick. Yeah, I don't know what it was. Ultron, he just seemed, obviously he had Doctor Strange, and this is like a super, super powerful Doctor Strange, and he was like nullifying a lot of the damage and stuff. But for the most part, I just kind of felt like Ultron, robot, calculating, should have been a lot quicker. I'm guessing, as we saw, he was missing, when he wiped out his universe, he was like kind of like missing his purpose, missing the fact that he was now like the only person there. It was almost like he kind of missed people so that because they gave him purpose. So maybe he was just wanted to take his time a little bit, enjoy it. He's like, I thought I killed everyone here. I guess I was wrong. Also, how Black Widow like stays so long under his radar. If he had all of the Infinity Stones, if he had such cosmic awareness that he could notice the Watcher, he couldn't notice Black Widow riding around on a motorcycle. Motorbike. How'd you get the fuel for that? And we know that fuel can be a big problem. How'd you get the fuel for that constantly? Anyway, it doesn't really matter. But let's talk. The actual like the fight, the anime self fighting was awesome. And it would have been way too easy if he just turned up and just went, Galaxy Chomp, gone. We saw Doctor Strange do like his own kind of Galaxy Chomp, so maybe the Galaxy Chomp wouldn't have worked in this situation. But yeah, obviously you got to have the fight. It can't be too easy. It can't be a one click KO. They can't be that kind of thing. So, for what the fight was, it was awesome. I think the Watcher versus Ultron fight was better from the last episode. Well, let's talk about like the little team. The team was made up of a lot of the characters that we saw in the previous episodes. That was to be expected. The standout really was Doctor Strange and Captain Carter. The rest kind of were just there, including Thanos Gamora, who apparently was from an episode that never got aired due to what's been going on in the world due to COVID. So I hope maybe we get to see that in season 2 because it seemed like a really interesting story. Her and Tony Stark, I'd like to see that dynamic. The one where she killed Thanos and she was just kind of there. I mean, it kind of worked because obviously it's a multiverse. The Watcher can pull from anywhere. And so in a way, it was kind of cool that he just pulled this random person that no one's seen because it's like, oh yeah, well, I knew she was there, but just because I haven't shown it to you guys doesn't mean you didn't know. But it was still a little bit like, oh, I wondered where was her story? She was all on the posters, but okay, that's fine. I mean, she didn't really do anything anyway, so she was just kind of there. So it doesn't really matter too much. But the other ones, I was like, Killmonger, he obviously disappeared for a long time, and I was like, well, that's a bit suspicious. He's obviously going to come back at the end and get the Infinity Stones. And then Starlord as well. He's just a guy, he's not like Ego Peter Quill. He's not like that kind of Starlord. He's just a regular guy, Starlord. Like, why out of everybody in the multiverse did you pick him? You could obviously go into the fact that the Watcher knew exactly how it was going to play out all of the variations, so you needed to have these people to do it. But at the same time, I was like, Captain Marvel nearly, you know, nearly got Ultron. Was giving Ultron a little bit of a run for his money. He got a few hits in, so why not just throw at him 1,000 Captain Marvels? Why get a Killmonger and a Starlord Black Panther, a Starlord T'Challa? Uh, why that? Why not get a million Doctor Stranges? Because Doctor Strange was clearly the one, the MVP, the one doing a lot of the work. And then at the end, it was it was Black Widow, a normal person who did a lot of the stuff. She fired the arrow, Hawkeye style, right in the eyeball. Beginning to wonder what makes Hawkeye so powerful, because everyone who picks up an arrow these days seems to be absolute skill shots with it. She did it in the air off of a motorbike, straight in Ultron's eye. Ultron was in a big flash of light, could barely even see him. Call it luck, it's like was it Katie at the end of Shang-Chi became another arrow user, Deadeye, perfect shot. Hawkeye, man, you really got to up your game when we get to the Hawkeye series. You train in the next Hawkeye. Are you sure you're up for the task? But overall, it was pretty fun. I guess just compared to all of the other like what if episodes, this one, it was just a big fight. There was no kind of what if situation. There was no, apart from like the Gamora little tease, there was nothing kind of like new in this one. It was just the end to the main story. As always, it was once again great seeing Ultron there. It does put up it just puts up a lot more questions. Doctor Strange had the time zone, and then Ultron had the time zone. So why didn't you get like 1,000 Thanoses all with Infinity Stones versus Ultron, or anyone else with Infinity Stones? Why did Ultron not collect all of the rest of the Infinity Stones and have like 1,000,000 Infinity Stones at this point? We're just all over him, just like looks like a Christmas tree. I guess it would be too silly. That's just is my head how it processes of like you're dealing with the multiverse stuff, and apparently if the Infinity Stones can work in any universe and across the universes, and there's multiple different ones, let's have a character that just goes around and collects them all. What happens if you have an infinity number of Infinity Stones? What can you do with all of that? Are they even compatible? Interesting. These stones looked a lot like smoother, so we could tell that they were like different stones. The MCU ones are a bit more unrefined, a bit more janky, But yeah, it was fine. It was fine for what it was. There was no repercussions for the Watcher doing what he did. I'm wondering if that is going to come in season 2. He was all like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't break my oath. And he broke his oath. And it was all fine. It was all happy endings at the end of the day. So yeah. But apart from that, I don't really know what else there is to say. The series as a whole was excellent, as I said last week. Really enjoyed it. Probably second favourite after Loki. I'm really intrigued at what they do in the next series. I wonder if we are going to get any of these characters come back. Apparently, they've said that they're not going to, but I think some of these are popular enough, especially like Captain Carter, the evil Doctor Strange. He's got his own little mission. Surely you can come back. There's more stories to tell with these characters. The Watcher now, really intriguing character. Obviously, his thing is going to continue. Will he show up in the MCU? I'd love to see a cameo of him in the MCU. And I'd really like to see more of Ultron. They defeated him in this one. Oh, I should actually mention what's it called? Zemo. He actually got the head in the chest. Hooray! Finally, in the MCU. More of that. I like that he was like kind of the hero as well at the end. That was pretty cool. So yeah, overall, a nice and a good anime fight, and not the strongest episode. I think I enjoyed the more kind of mystery element of like what we're going to get this week. But the team up episode, it was fine. It just wasn't the strongest episode of them all. I think my favorite episode is, I don't know. I think when I look back at them, I really like the zombie one, even though the Ant-Man head was like stupid. I think that was my favorite one, and the Party 4 one was just fun. But yeah, I think the zombie one was probably my favorite one of the bunch. But yeah, good stuff. I can't wait for the next series, and can't wait for the next live action series. Hawkeye, come on, Hawkeye, bring your A game. Let's see you fire an arrow from a motorbike and get it even more accurate. Another USB one straight in the socket, not even perfect way up. Not even to do it once. Why didn't it go in? Turn it over. They didn't go in. Try it again. This looks wrong. I'm gonna go now. Bye bye.